all asexuals think the same? Of course not, everybody is different in their sexuality, but I like reacting to these kinds of videos anyway. Ciao everybody, I'm your big bro Kanetsu, and welcome back to another reaction video. We're going to react to another Spectrum video by Jubilee, and this is Do All Asexuals Think the Same?
Even though I'm asexual, I still experience attraction.
I don't know, but so far I never did.
3, 2, 1, go.
I place myself on disagree. Whoa, look how many asexual experience attraction.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm sorry to the class. Like, there have been times in my life where I've been like, is this attraction? Or like, is something happening here? But for the most part, I have just been like, no, like that person is nice looking, but I don't feel any sort of thing.
Asexuality, it really is a large spectrum. Under the spectrum, I fall under demisexual, which basically means that I need a strong emotional bond with someone before I could feel any type of sexual attraction.
I have yet to confirm if I'm demisexual or not, but I feel like the other person must be attracted to me first before I can feel anything at this point. I just got so used to not being liked or ignored that I don't even try to like someone. But I've never felt a sudden attraction to someone, not even with the ones that I was kinda in love with. It's just that now, if you're not into me, I'm not even going to bother. And even if you are into me, I might not believe you anyway.
I can look at someone and say, this person is really attractive, but, you know, I don't have sexual attraction or like, I want to date this person.
There's also like different forms of attraction. I can be attracted to aesthetics, but I don't really have like a romantic attraction.
It's really hard for me to just like aesthetics. I can see someone that is my type, but if their personality doesn't match my standards, they instantly become unappealing. As I like to tell, I have more turn-offs and maybe just one turn-on.
I masturbate on a regular basis.
Now. Define regular basis. Is it at least once a week? If so, then I try to
3, 2, 1, go.
I agree.
Stay here.
I mean, I guess I'll go first. The way that I've been able to find a lot of people like in the ace community is through the kink community. And so usually when I am masturbating, it's things kink related. And so, yeah, I do masturbate on a regular basis, but it's never in the sense that I'm like craving sex or want sex or even find sex attractive.
I feel a bit like him. I don't use it as a substitute or to emulate sex. It's just its own thing. But I need to admit that I try to keep a schedule because I feel like it can get rusty. But they also say it will avoid wet dreams if you are regular. And I hate the cleanup, so I don't want that to casually happen.
I don't feel like horny often. So like when it does happen, I was like, okay. I think it's scientifically, it's just like I just need to relieve myself.
Gotta do something about it.
Yeah, do something about it.
Yeah.
I can probably count on my end the times I felt horny, if it was that. But it's best to take care of it as soon as you can.
It just seems so time consuming to do regularly. Like, I mean, I got TV shows I could watch. I don't know.
I just feel like there's no need for it, you know? I'm really content with myself. Like, if I have an urge, I can eat.
I don't know about girls, but in less than a minute I could be done. Don't get me wrong, it's not a positive, because why bother for such a short time?
I find sex repulsive. 3, 2, 1, go.
I disagree.
Some people communicate through sex. Like, that's their way of showing their emotion. And though it may not be for me, it just depends on who the person is. Because you're supposed to be able to trust that person as well. So if you don't trust them, like, what good is that going to do for you?
Yeah.
You know?
And I really do feel like sex, for me, as a demisexual, it's like if we're not connected on an emotional or intellectual level, I just don't want it.
Yeah, it's like, why should we do it? What is it going to give us? But sometimes I feel like I'm overthinking stuff. But I also think that it's more of a social pressure because we live in an over-sexualized society. Most of the times that I think about doing it, it's because I think that I want to be kinda normal, I guess. Because I feel like the defective gay.
I'm not repulsed by other people doing it. Like, anyone can do what they want, obviously. It's not something I can see myself participating in.
Unless it's a random section in a movie. Those are annoying.
Asexuality is purely about the attraction and not about the action. You know, you can not experience that attraction and still be like, oh, this feels nice. To me, like, sex is like an activity that you do in the same way that you can like hug someone or shake their hand. Like, for me, it doesn't have like some other level or like the level that society wants to tell you that is inherent to sex. Like, I'm just like, no, it's an activity that you do with one or more other people. Like, that's all it is.
Exactly.
I am a virgin. 3, 2, 1, go.
I guess I strongly agree. I mean, can you be a partially virgin?
It's kind of what I expected. Not to be.
I decided that all my past experiences are not valid anymore, so I'm on level 1.
There's been times where I tried dating people because everyone is doing it. But I was always upfront, like, hey, I'm asexual. This might not be your thing, you know? And then they're like, no, I totally understand. 3 months later, they're having a tantrum because you won't kiss them.
I don't even try dating, not just for this. But I do feel that most people that want to date do expect that. So I just try to make friends and see if something more might happen.
When did you lose your virginity?
I lost my virginity when I was 15 or 16. What about you?
I was 17 when I lost mine, and it's not the greatest story. I was coerced into having sex.
This is one of my fears too, because I like to reciprocate and I feel like I can get used, and I hate that. It might sound stupid to you, but I feel like I'm not in a position where I can decline, because if I would be in that situation, I should consider myself lucky.
I mean, me personally, I've never experienced any of it. I don't wish that I could experience sex. There's moments where I wish I wasn't asexual. I'm just gonna start crying too. It's like it's so ingrained in our society that you should have attraction, you should have a romantic attraction, you should have sexual attraction. So a lot of us, if we don't have the word, we feel so broken until we find it. I was so lucky because I had a parent who knew what the word was. And like my mom actually said, maybe you're asexual, you don't feel those things and that's okay. But so many people don't have that word.
Yeah, you can't say it better than this.
I feel invisible to the LGBTQ plus community.
This one is kinda complicated. Let's see.
3, 2, 1, go.
I think I disagree. Whoa, apparently I'm the only one that thinks like that.
The LGBT community of itself is very sexualized. Like at Pride, it's very sexual. I think it's hard for them to include the sexuality that is absence of that. I've heard so many people say that asexuals don't get as oppressed as other people in the LGBT community, but that's not all that LGBT community is. It's not just whether you'd get oppressed or kicked out by your family. We're still experiencing things differently from the rest of the world, and it feels better to have a community of people.
This oppression measuring contest, it's so ridiculous. There are even gays that have never felt oppression, so they are not part of the community? What I see more is a subtle hate from a part of the community towards the people that have the option of being straight. Like they say, asexuals, heteroromantic, can't be part of the community. Or like how they treat bisexuals and passing trans people. But personally, I have yet to encounter people that had issues with asexuality. Maybe they have some misunderstanding about it, but I also think that I hang out with well-informed people that understands it. Or maybe I'm just intimidating and they don't try to talk back to me.
For me, this question is a little bit personal because the closest thing for me was my auntie, because my auntie is lesbian. And it comes to relation with family, like everyone accepts my auntie. But when it comes to me, it's just like, oh, you don't exist. You haven't tried it yet. It makes me feel a little bit empty because like, you're my family. You're supposed to be you're supposed to be with me. Like, you're supposed to be able to comfort me.
But you're like invisible to your family, not the community?
Like, as you say, like, pride is really sexualized, and like being sex positive and like encouraging people to have as much sex as they want also means that sometimes they don't want any. I've heard people say like what you experience is valid, but you're not queer enough to be in the community. And I'm like, then what is queer enough?
This not being enough is told to everyone, to the gays, to the non-binary trans people. This tells me more about the people that say this than anything else. I think that people that say this have yet to fully accept themselves. Because in a community where everyone is free to be themselves, there should be no standard.
As someone who identifies as gay, I really did want to hear everything out that they were saying because I completely agree with everything that they just said. I do see more things on social media. Like I was just on the LGBT website and they list like a whole list of different ace identities. We are becoming a little bit more open-minded about it, but I don't want to give too much credit because I 100% agree that we need a lot of work in the community.
The increased visibility is great, it's really good, but it also is driven by ace people and ace specs. And there's no one, at least there are fewer people in the broader queer community who are reaching out to us and being like, we want you involved.
So here in Italy, I don't know much of anyone who is ace. I try to talk about it, but I don't really want to be an activist. But I see other queer people talk about it from time to time. I also think that if you don't get involved, they won't reach out. But also there isn't a strong reason for a movement of asexuals.
I do know some people, like, they kind of just feel like they don't belong in the community, so they just stick to basically an ace community. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know about you, but when I went to like meetups and stuff, I would ask if asexuals were welcome.
But I think that all the labels in the LGBTQ+ tend to stick in their community, because as LGBTQ+, we have some core aspects of our lives that we share, but the whole experience is different for everyone. By being gay, some aspects of my life can be harder. By being ace, other aspects of my life can be harder. But they don't align. So I go to the right community where I can relate most when needed. What most people have to remember is that the LGBTQ+ community is a political movement first. And I feel that some people want it to be their dating ground.
I am still exploring my sexuality. 3, 2, 1, go.
I think I disagree.
I used to identify as demi and then I went to ace, like gray ace. So like I'm still at like, is this correctly what I identify as?
I am still unsure of myself. Like, I don't know what my own feelings are half the time, and I am still young. So I'm trying to be okay with not really knowing some things about myself.
I think that some people get too hung up in perfectly identify themselves. You might always find something that makes you doubt yourself. I'm sure there are people that are completely sure about themselves. But I also think that it's fine to not know. Once you know the inner core of your workings, you're at a good point. That's why I just go by queer this day, because I don't want to fit in a specific box. I'm just open to everything, but I also know what I want.
Like for me, it's like I'm in the disagree section because like I feel I'm pretty solid in my identity. There are times where I'm like, was that attraction? What was that? But like it doesn't matter what it was. Like it's not going to change my behavior.
I feel like at this point, I already know what I want, and I'm so over like other people judging me for it, you know? I'm just gonna stay here in my little bubble. I'm comfortable being right here, you know?
And I guess that's it. There is not much I want to add to this. I skipped some parts, so if you want to watch the full video, the link is in the description. Let me know in the comments how you feel about asexuality. Leave a like if you like the video and subscribe if you like me. And thank you so much for watching. Remember that I'm proud of you and I believe in you. And I'll see you in the next video.